Okay, next I'd like to talk to you about within a business degree, concentrating on economics, which is again a very common concentration in many BBA or Bachelor's of Business Administration programs. Now, economics by its very nature regards how people use resources. So economists generally undertake the process of identifying factors and determining cause and effect and assess how different actions or factors in the external or internal environment will affect overall the greater system that you're, whether it's the micro or macro system that you're involved in. So in that way, an economist, the key skills associated with an individual who's proficient or practices economics is going to be strong analytical skills and particularly a strong quantitative ability, because you're typically dealing with a lot of data, lots of information flow that you're trying to analyze. So strong analytical skills is extremely important, and that includes in many cases the ability to do extensive statistical methods and in some cases other mathematical methods, lots of times calculus based projections and that nature. So in any given event you're going to have strong quantitative and analytical skills. And another thing is it's a great degree for grad school, because again, economics causes you to think. It's one of those concentrations that really expands your mind and opens you up to new perspectives and gives you the tools necessary to take a logical or calculated approach to any opinion, any task, any objective, any ways of thought. It's very centered in logic and the steps necessary to reason your way through a logical outcome. So economics again is a great concentration. Now, if you actually want to practice as an economist, you're generally going to need to go to graduate school. But oftentimes, even without going to graduate school, people who concentrate in economics are going to find themselves in many sectors like banking, finance, or you could find yourself in a research organization that focuses on any given industry, whether it's any sort of public policy, healthcare, insurance, real estate, financial markets, etc. Again, having the quantitative and analytical abilities that are characteristic of an accounting concentration, again, are valuable in all of these industries. Okay, now if you do qualify for the positions, which again would typically require a master's or even a PhD in economics, economists are more often than not researchers. So with that in mind, that is going to be their title. They're going to research some area or aspect of a system, whether it's financial markets, whether it's the healthcare economy, whether it's international macroeconomics, trade, things of that nature. So again, very strong quantitative analytical functions. Okay, lots of times economists find themselves as statisticians in any given industry, but it's particularly common in risk-prone industries such as insurance. Individuals may find themselves in an actuarial role to assess probabilities of risk and outcomes along those lines, or again in any field where you're playing percentages of outcome and you're basing your policy decisions or your decision making on the statistical probability of things happening. So lots of times consulting is a big field for individuals concentrating in economics, just for the simple fact, again, consulting often requires a logical approach to a difficult problem, which may require that you think outside the box. Well, lots of people associate that thinking outside the box with liberal arts or a well-rounded education, so you look at things from different perspectives. Well, that is certainly true, but the ability to address the problem is often based in a step-by-step logic as to how you approach it based upon these outside ideas. So with that in mind, again, economics is a great concentration again or major for consulting. Banking and advisory and financial management, obviously, because so much of that revolves around analysis of financial products, etc. So, and then risk allocation and things of that nature. So, again, within the banking advisory and the financial manager role, when you're allocating other people's resources or the internal resources of the organization, you need to have again that logical approach. And then, of course, academia. There's it's a strong field for economists because, again, it's so valuable to introduce individuals, particularly business students, who need that structured and logic necessary to marshal resources in the carrying out of any of their job functions. So these are some of the more common fields that you can go into with economics concentrations, and it is a very good degree, again, to open up different career paths, particularly the career path of grad school.